Hey, good morning, everybody. It is August 4th. We are at the London close, and it is my birthday today. So hopefully the market is nice to me and we can take some profits from the market. But anyway, thanks for joining me here with the Bettertradr. We're going to take a look at the heat map here, which is kind of how we always start our day. I always look at the Scotiabank report, and then we'll see if we have any mismatches or continuations that we're looking for here. So you can see heat map wise, uh, pound is being sold off right now in anticipation of the BOE rate announcement, which there's kind of some anticipation that it might be a little bit more bearish. Kiwi's being sold off just with the fact that they're able to do more to weaken the currency. The Aussie Australian dollar has being bought slightly with the announcement that RBA is going to do quantitative easing. So normally that's a negative for the currency, but in light of the economic situation with coronavirus, that is a positive for the economy. The dollar is mixed right now, and I think that's kind of being buoyed here with talks of possible agreement on another funding bill to help people that are out of work and help companies to survive this pandemic. And with that, I think the euro is being sold off a little bit more. So that's kind of what we have going on right now. Look at the yen, even though it's kind of a modest risk-off environment, it's mixed. Swiss franc is being bought up pretty substantially, so that's interesting. When you look at equities, the Dow is up slightly, Nasdaq's down slightly, the VIX is down, so it's not a huge risk-off day. It's kind of a wait-and-see day. So that's kind of what we have going on right now. So, like I said, the dollar kind of weighed, although it is starting to improve a little bit with that talk of a possible deal on the funding. Good GDP data for the Canadian dollar, so Canadian dollar is holding right now. And euro still kind of looked at as kind of the profit-taking dip, so it's being sold, but it's kind of profit-taking right now. Underlying momentum is still bullish. So that's kind of what we have going on. Just to note, Japan, China released their PMI data this evening, so any moves with those two could be kind of mixed. Nothing else that I really saw that would be crazy here. So one thing that they did note from Scotiabank is the talk that investors may have only just started to deploy capital outside the U.S. in response to the falling U.S. yields. So the ability for the dollar to recover limited at the moment, absent of some sort of spark, obviously that, or more sustained demand for safety. Safe haven function is kind of lessened with the Fed's extension of swap arrangements. So, once again, the dollar is not really the go-to right now, and I think it's going to continue to lose value. So I'd be looking at dollar shorts right now, Canadian dollar longs. So CAD is strong, Aussie strong, dollar would be weak, pound would be weak. So those would be the two that I'd be looking for right now. So as once again, we talk about this every day, it's always important to kind of have your strong pairs and your weak pairs, weak currencies, strong currencies before you kind of go into the markets and before you even look at a chart. So next thing I'm going to do is kind of look at any opportunities here. So once again, dollar and pound are the weak ones, and I'd be looking at Aussie or Canadian dollar as the strong ones. So euro I'd be careful with because it's not sentiment driven. It's kind of, there's profit taking going on. There's uncertainty. There's a lot going on right there. So I don't know if that would be the best pair to trade right now, anything with the euro. Let's see if we have anything strong here. All right. No, it's going to break that. So I don't see anything on the auto trader, but let's take a look and see what we have on the charts. Really, once again, the auto trader is just good at looking for levels, but if we see something strong, we can go after it. So let's look at the pound CAD. And you can see there's been a little bit of a bump up, but not much room for further. Actually, there is a little bit room for further downward momentum here, so we could probably get it down to right around here for BOE. We could go in on a little short on this one here. There's a little bit of a drop here. What I like to look at too is, let's see this last downward trend. Where's the volume built up? Right there. So we're looking at 63. So we're looking at about a 19 pip stop if we got on pound CAD. The only thing I don't like about this is you can see the volume's kind of dispersed here. And I don't like the fact that it tried to attack down and it got bought up real quickly here. So that's an interesting one. But if we got in there, we could get in on a pretty substantial short position here. So, you know, I like this. This is a good little trade here, because I think this is going to get blown out. It's going to go down. All the volumes up above, and it would be tough for the sucker to break through there. So we'd be looking at 20 pip stop. And once again, this is if it closes above this level, I'm not interested anymore. Let's get in here. And once again, with that GDP for the Canadian dollar being a beat, that bodes well for us. Let's see where we have it. Okay. Let's see, where's that next level up? So that's where we'd probably want to get out at like 173.75. And you know, this is the break point for us if it gets out. But what I'd probably do is put my stop just above here. So my hard stop. So 175.05. All right. Okay, so we got in on this trade at 174.42. Oops. And let's enter the correct settings here. So we got in at 174.42.3. Profit level is 173.75. And stop is just over 20 pips, so 21 pips. So all right, so we've got a really good trade, I think, here. It's based on solid fundamentals. Risk reward is 3.25 to 1. And let's see if this sucker hits. So I think a good little trade here, and you know, we should see one way or the other on this one pretty soon. But I really like the fact that the volume's built up here, and then you don't really see anything below until you get down into that profit target area. So all the momentum's on our side, kind of pushing it. So think of it like a wave, and you know, we're on a surfboard. It's going to be much harder to try to climb over the wave than it is just to go with the wave. So Let's these are really good setups when you see it like this, and hopefully we'll get paid off because of that. So we will keep watching this sucker, and I'll let you guys know. All right, thanks. talk a little bit about volume profile and kind of why I use it, why it's important. So, this line right here is nothing special, okay, and neither is this line right here. What this actually is this is buyers and traders going back and forth, whether it's retail traders, big markets, whatever, back and forth for an extended period of time, as you can see by the volume. And when it drops below that, that means at this level, the sellers won. Okay. So when there's a lot of volume right here, you got to think, okay, so anyone that was buying, right? Anyone that was buying, okay, if you got down to here and then it spiked back up to your entry price, you're going to get out. So there's going to be some selling pressure at this point, right? And if you're a seller, when it comes up to this level here, chances are you're going to protect this position too because you're in profit and you don't want to have a loss. So that's why when you see really, really strong volume clusters here, they tend to be good, support or resistance levels, depending if you're going long or short, because of that fact. So that's how you want to think about these levels, and that's why I prefer to use volume profile over like a moving average or a Fibonacci. But the response is still the same because there's clusters of buying and selling at these levels, whether it's a moving average, whether it's a Fibonacci retracement, etc. So, whatever one you use, that's how you want to think about it when you're trading these guys is, why am I going down, and what are these levels going to do for me? So that's why for me, today when we're looking at this trade, you can see it's basically tick-tocking down here. And this level right here, there was a good amount of buying and selling at this level, and it dropped. Okay, and then it tried to attack it as a retracement, and it dropped again. So this level's pretty strong. So that's the thought process that I'm going through when I'm looking at these areas and how to trade it. And once again, when you couple this with the sentiment for the day, that's what actually gives you that edge and gives you the confidence to stay in a trade. Because right now, I mean, for the next, for the last 20 minutes, it hasn't really done anything. But I know that Canadian dollars GDP was strong. I know that people are probably going to be a little nervous to be in the pound going into the BOE. So those coupled with what I see on the charts gives me a strong probability that it's going to continue down. Now, could it go up? Yeah, and you know what? Sometimes that happens, but when you have the risk to reward, or the reward to risk, that's what gives you that final edge. And when you package them all together, that's what leads to a winning strategy. So there's a lot of different ways to trade out there, and the way I trade and the time frame I trade is different than Nick, different than a lot of profitable traders, but the rules tend to be the same. So just, food for thought. I figured I'd share something with you on my birthday here. So hope you guys all have a great day, and I will catch you in the markets tomorrow. Thanks.